Guys, what's going on? It's Joe from GadgetryTech.com, and today we're going to talk about the Sennheiser EPOS GSP 601. This headset came out several months ago. I've actually had this headset for over a couple months now because I like to try to use headphones or headsets like this for a longer period of time because they're more of the premium, and you just got to have to really get a good feel for it. So we're going to get into quite a few things with this guy, but I want to start off by saying Sennheiser EPOS with the GSP 601, and going forward, new models from these companies, the EPOS line, will no longer include the Sennheiser name under it. The EPOS is the gaming focused stuff, whereas Sennheiser is going to be focused more on your reference grade studio headphones, higher end microphones, etc. So with that being said, we're going to focus on this bad boy. Now the GSP 601 is white, and then you can get the GSP 600 or 602. The 600 is in black. 602 is this really, really pretty navy bluish color. So it's a good looking headset. Now, what's cool about all of these is they come with customizable side plates. And what I mean by that is there's two different pairs in the box. You can go all white in this case, or you can use an amber color or an orange color, if you will, depending on what kind of look that you want. It's more of a copperish amber than anything else. But it's nice that it gives you a second set in case you want to mix up the colors. The other cool thing about that is if you don't care for one of those two colors, you can wrap that plate, paint it, put decals on it, whatever, and kind of customize it. So it's nice that you can do that. There's a lot to cover, so I may jump around a little bit, but I'm going to start with just the build quality and comfort, because holy cow, the build quality, and when you first unbox this thing, it's a $220 headset, and it feels like a much more expensive headset. The unboxing experience, even though it's a simple plastic container and all this other stuff, just the way it's presented when I first opened it, I didn't expect that. Caught me off guard. So you get that real good quality right off the bat, kind of like what I got with my Bang & Olufsen Beoplay portals. So unboxing experience is great. Now this is a very solid headphone. In fact, it's on the heavier side as well. Weight comes in at 395 grams. So if you're concerned about weight, this is a little bit on the heavier side. However, it's one of the first headphones I've seen or used that has an adjustable clamp force. These little sliders on the top can change how hard this grabs your head. Now, this is a slightly stronger clamp force by default. So you're basically going from a stronger clamp force to a less strong clamp force. There's no real light touch. This doesn't make a significant impact on clamp force reduction, but I do like that it's there. Now, the one advantage of the clamp force of this headset with this ear pad material, their hybrid fabric material, the noise isolation is insane. This is the best passive noise isolation headset I've used. And what I mean by that is there's no active noise canceling. There's no stuff happening electronically to get rid of background noise. This is a purely analog headset, but it gives you an incredible sound experience by blocking out a lot of external noise without any of those fancy bells and whistles. So because of that, there's no batteries, there's no USB port, just a braided and detachable headphone cable. Now, you get a 1.5 meter or 4 foot cable included in the box, and this is a combo jack cable. So this is what you use for your controller, PC if you have a combo jack, etc. Then they give you a 2.5 meter long PC cable, which is a very long cable. You swap the whole thing out. There's no splitter or anything like that. You just unplug this from the headset and switch it out to the bigger one. And by doing that, now you are good for a computer that has a dedicated headphone and microphone port instead of combining the two. So you get that in the box, and that's basically it. Now, as of now, I'm going to just say this briefly because this is going to be a whole separate review. It's worth mentioning. This is the GSX 300. I got this model because it comes in white and it matches the GSP 601. I think they go extremely well together. But right now, if you buy this through the Sennheiser EPOS website, I'll put a link in the description. They're including an $80 USB game deck, which has really, really nice software for customizing the EQ, mic monitoring, etc. And there's different presets as well. This is also one of the few that gives you EQ presets for the microphone. So depending on what your voice sounds like, if you need a little bit more bass, a little bit less bass, you want to open it up and make it more clear, you can do that all with this one little $80 DAC, and they're including that at $220, which makes this a freaking steal. And we'll get into the sound quality, but I just want to throw that out there. So I'll do a separate review on this down the road, or part of it will be in this review. I'll just show you how the software works, and that'll help give you an idea of what to expect there. So you're probably wondering why I'm in my living room instead of my office, and that's because this headset does something special. This uses proprietary drivers. They rate it for 10 to 30,000 hertz, much wider frequency response than you traditionally get with a headphone, a gaming headset. This is more in line with a studio quality headphone. So what's cool about this and what makes me so excited is this doesn't have the most open or bright sound stage. This doesn't have the utmost, deepest, strongest bass I've ever heard on a headphone. I mean, I have more expensive headsets than this, but the way this is tuned really makes me feel like I'm in the theaters. And some people may like that. I guess some people may not, but this is kind of a more unique, enjoyable experience. A lot of headphones in the sub $200 price range can sound pretty similar to each other, especially gaming headphones. So this is unique because it's so immersive when you're playing games. The bass on this is insane. It's not like I'm listening to headphones with good bass. It's like I'm listening to a home theater system with a couple really good subwoofers, like those SVS bad boys behind me. So I wanted to come out here to be in front of my theater system because this is the closest home theater experience I've had on a gaming headset before. This is the best way I can describe it. It actually has very good imaging. The soundstage isn't as open or bright as some other higher end gaming headsets that tend to focus a lot on the detail and sharpness. I'm not a huge fan of going too over the top with that because it can hurt your ears after a while. I've said that in a lot of reviews. However, some people like that. So I'm just going to be honest and say this isn't the most bright or open sounding headset. Now, conversely, on the bass, holy crap, of any sub $300 gaming headphone I've reviewed, this has the strongest bass without ruining the rest of the sound. The Xbox wireless headset at $100 has ridiculous bass because they overdid it out of the factory and it kills your clarity. You don't hear as much. Footsteps are really hard to hear. It's very muddy sounding. This has a lot of rumble without being as extreme as the Microsoft one, but you don't lose any of the detail in the mids or highs. In fact, when I tested this on my headphone measuring rig, the frequency response had a little bit more bass on the low end, a little bit more on the highs, which is kind of what you want for gaming, but the mids, from the mid bass to the low treble, high mid, almost perfectly flat. It sounds incredible. And what's great about this is when you have a reference frequency response like that, or a bass frequency response, and you pair it with something like the GSX 300, you can really customize your headphone sound to be exactly what you want. If you find that the bass is a little too much, just pull it back a little bit. But what I love about this tuning is when you use the combo port and plug this bad boy into a controller, you're going to get one of the best wired headphone experiences for gaming at the $200 price range. It's absolutely insane. Now, Sennheiser also makes Drop has the PC38X, which to me doesn't have the same build quality or comfort as this, but it's a really great sounding headset around the same price range. In fact, I think it's a little bit less. I love this one because, again, the build quality, the customization, I love that I can match this bad boy. And at $220 with the DAC, it's obviously a better value. So I'm going to get into the mic test, and then I want to talk about a couple other things and see what you guys think. All right, now I'm talking to you on the Sennheiser EPOS 601 headset. Now, I am not using the GSX 300 DAC right now. I don't want to do any additional processing or modifying the sound. This is a straight analog connection to my computer, and this is what it sounds like. The microphone quality is excellent. It's a reference studio style microphone on this headset, which is why the capsule is so large. It's a big capsule, which means you capture a little bit more of that warmth and clarity. It's more of a natural sounding microphone. So I'm curious what you guys think on this. Shoot me a comment below if you have any feedback or you like the sound profile, you think it could be different, but that's what it is. Now I'm going to mess around with this cord for a moment because it's braided, which can transfer more noise into the ear cup. So I'm going to mess with that, see if you guys pick that up. So not sure if that came through. I can hear it a little bit on the ear cup. That's the one downside of a braided cable. However, when you're gaming and you're sitting relatively still and holding the controller, for example, you shouldn't really hear any noise from the cable. The advantage of the braid is obviously it's extremely durable. So let's go back to talking on the normal microphone. I got some more stuff I want to share. Okay, that wraps up the mic test. And there's a lot I like with this headset. There is an extremely high sensitivity rating on this. And why that's important is when you're gaming on a controller, the big downside some people have on a wired headset is it doesn't get loud enough. That's because you're relying on the little headphone amplifier built into a console controller, your Xbox, your PS4, 5, whatever. So getting a headset like this with not only extreme power handling, because you can hook up a bigger amp than this guy if you want a lot of juice. I'm using a JDS Labs Atom Stack and a Shit Hell 2. Those are $200 amp DAC combos. Those things have a serious amount of power, and this handled it no problem. The advantage of this guy is you can customize the sound, and it's in a much more affordable price point. And it still sounds excellent. I'm not knocking that at all. So, but the advantage of a high sensitivity rating is you get a lot more volume out of your controller or PC if you're using the built-in amp. Now, the volume wheel on this guy is huge. It's beefy, it's heavy, there's a lot of resistance to it, doesn't feel cheap. I wish it was just a little bit lighter so you could quickly adjust it, but this thing feels like a tank. So it's built extremely well. Adding to that, the build quality of this, I mean, again, just circling back to the beginning, it uses this aluminum mount for the ear cup. You don't have full rotation to lay flat on your neck, but it does rotate forward and back, and you get that tilting up and down. And again, I mentioned that adjustable head clamp. So it's still very flexible, very, very comfortable. I like a medium to stronger clamp force with stuff like this because I want the most sound quality I can get. Because these have these incredible memory foam hybrid ear cups, I'm not in any discomfort whatsoever. And on that note, the ear cups are supple enough where if you wear glasses and you're concerned about long-term glasses comfort, even though this has a strong clamp force, still very comfortable for glasses. So this is a pretty special headset. And, I've reviewed headsets that have totally different sound profiles. This one just really captivated me. It's actually, just to be fully open, I have about 40, maybe 45 different headsets and headphones right now. This is the one I've used the most in 2 months. I always find myself going to this one, especially when I'm doing video production and editing. I feel like this is just such a good baseline. And if I'm listening to movies, I watch a trailer on the computer, my phone, I'm chatting during the day for work, just an incredible, incredible listening experience. It's so comfortable. And I know this is going to work every single time I plug it in because it's just so durable and you really can't beat a wire. I hope you guys found this review helpful. I'm sure I'm skipping some things and I'll probably loop stuff in, but I think this is a good representation of what should be expected in the $200 price range for gaming. You obviously have the SteelSeries Arctis Pro, the Game DAC version, which is even more expensive. You have the Astro A40 with the Mixamp Pro and the A50s, which are wireless. This is a better value. Even if it didn't include the Game DAC, if you had to buy this separately, you're at $300 all in for a super high quality experience. Now this Game DAC is meant for PC, so obviously you won't use this for Xbox or PlayStation, just use the wire on that. But again, on PlayStation you have your Tempest 3D audio, and on Xbox you can use Dolby Atmos and still customize the sound from there. I've been really happy with this. I'll show you a quick clip of the Game DAC software just so you can see what it looks like, and then be prepared to see a follow-up review on that where I cover it in more detail. Overall, it's a great DAC, and I think it just kind of adds a little bit more to this. So it's really cool that it's being included right now. And that about wraps up the review, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in and checking this out. I hope this helped explain the essence of this headset. It really is a special headphone to listen to. I love using it. So if you have any questions, shoot me a comment below. As always, I love talking shop and answering them for you as much as I can, of course. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We have a lot of audio stuff coming out, not only with this amp DAC, we have some really expensive hi-fi audio stuff that I'll be releasing soon. I've been using them for a few months, and I'm dying to share that with you guys as well. So thank you again. I'll see you next time.